Across the United States, there are forests and woods that feel dark, silent, and deeply unsettling. These haunted woods are not just filled with tall trees and winding paths, but also with chilling stories passed down through generations. People claim to hear whispers, see shadowy figures, and feel watched when walking through these places. Some woods are linked to tragic deaths, lost travelers, ancient legends, and unexplained disappearances. Daytime may seem calm, but at night these forests come alive with fear. From ghostly lights to strange sounds, America's haunted woods remain some of the most terrifying places to explore. Let's talk about the most haunted woods in the U.S. Number 1. The Pine Barrens of New Jersey stretch for miles, covered in twisted trees, sandy paths, and deep silence that makes even daylight feel uneasy. At first glance, the forest looks peaceful, but many who enter say the air feels heavy, as if the woods are watching. The trees grow thin and crooked, sunlight struggles to reach the ground, and sounds seem to disappear. Locals say this land has always been different, a place where people feel lost even when they know the way. The most famous legend tied to the Pine Barrens is the Jersey Devil. For hundreds of years, people have reported seeing a tall, winged creature with glowing eyes moving between the trees or flying above the forest at night. Witnesses describe hearing blood-curdling screams echoing through the woods, followed by deep hoof sounds on frozen ground. Farmers once found animals dead with strange marks, and travelers told stories of being chased by something they could not see. Beyond the Jersey Devil, the Pine Barrens is filled with ghost towns and abandoned villages swallowed by nature. Old roads lead to ruins where families once lived and worked, only to vanish when industries collapsed. Visitors report hearing children laughing near empty foundations, footsteps following them on trails, and distant voices calling their names. Some say they see shadow figures standing between trees, disappearing when approached. Many hikers have shared stories of becoming suddenly disoriented. Even with maps and GPS, paths seem to shift, familiar landmarks vanish, and time feels distorted. People claim their watches stop, phones lose signal, and panic sets in without warning. Some believe the forest itself does not want to be explored, turning visitors around until they leave. At night, the Pine Barrens becomes even more terrifying. Strange lights float between trees, drums and whispers echo from deep within the forest, and cold winds appear without warning. Those who dare to explore after dark often leave shaken, convinced they were not alone. The Pine Barrens remains one of America's most haunted woods, a place where legends, fear, and unexplained darkness still live among the trees. Number 2. Mount Shasta Forest in California is one of the most mysterious and feared wooded areas in the United States. Towering trees surround the massive mountain, creating deep shadows even during the day. Many visitors say the forest feels unnaturally quiet, as if sound is swallowed by the land. People often report a strange pressure in the air, sudden dizziness, or the feeling of being watched. Locals believe the forest holds ancient energy, something far older than the towns nearby, and not all of it feels peaceful. One of the most terrifying stories connected to Mount Shasta Forest involves unexplained disappearances. Hikers and campers have vanished without leaving clear tracks, sometimes only a few feet from their group. Search teams often report equipment failures, strange lights, and voices calling from deep within the trees. Some missing people are never found, while others reappear days later with no memory of where they were, claiming time felt frozen or distorted. Many believe the forest is home to hidden beings that do not want to be seen. Witnesses describe tall shadow figures moving silently between trees, glowing eyes watching from the darkness, and human-like shapes that vanish instantly. Some claim to see pale, robed figures standing far away, observing silently before fading into the forest. These encounters often leave people shaken with intense fear and confusion. Mount Shasta is also known for strange lights floating through the woods at night. Campers describe glowing orbs drifting between trees, changing colors, and suddenly disappearing. Others report hearing low humming sounds, whispers spoken in unknown languages, and footsteps circling tents without anyone there. Electronics frequently stop working, and compasses fail without explanation. There are also dark stories of spiritual encounters. Some visitors say they feel suddenly overwhelmed by fear or sadness, while others experience vivid visions or disturbing dreams after leaving the forest. People claim the land reacts to human presence, becoming hostile to those who stay too long or wander too deep. As night falls, the forest becomes even more terrifying. Cold winds rise without warning, shadows move on their own, and the silence becomes unbearable. Mount Shasta Forest remains one of America's most haunted woods, a place where reality feels thin and something unseen still watches from the trees. Number 3. The Salem Woods, Massachusetts are among the most unsettling and haunted forest areas in the United States. These dark, dense woods have stood for centuries, silently watching over one of America's most tragic and terrifying histories. Even during the day, the trees feel heavy and closed in, blocking sunlight and sound. Many visitors say the air feels thick, as if the past never left. The forest paths twist and turn, making it easy to feel lost, while an overwhelming sense of fear slowly builds without reason. These woods are deeply connected to the witch trials that once consumed Salem. Long before modern roads and buildings, accused men and women were dragged through these forests, questioned, threatened, and condemned. Locals believe the spirits of the innocent never found peace. People walking through the woods report hearing crying, whispered prayers, and angry voices carried by the wind. Some claim to see dark figures hanging from trees, only for them to vanish when approached. At night, the woods become far more terrifying. Witnesses describe shadowy shapes moving just beyond sight, footsteps following closely behind, and sudden drops in temperature. Some visitors report feeling touched or pushed by unseen hands. Others experience overwhelming dread, as if something is warning them to leave. Strange symbols have been found carved into trees, appearing overnight without explanation, adding to fears that dark rituals still take place deep within the forest. There are also countless reports of people becoming disoriented while walking familiar paths. Compasses fail, phone signals vanish, and time seems to slow or speed up. Some hikers claim they walked for hours only to end up back where they started. Others report seeing flickering lights between trees or floating orbs that disappear when chased. Animals are said to avoid certain areas completely, and sudden silence often falls without warning. Birds stop singing, insects go quiet, and the woods feel frozen. Many believe this silence signals a nearby presence. Those who explore Salem's woods often leave shaken, carrying nightmares and feelings of being followed. The land remains haunted by fear, injustice, and restless spirits, making the woods of Salem one of the most terrifying and haunted places in America. Number 4. The Great Smoky Mountains forests of Tennessee are vast, ancient, and deeply unsettling. Thick fog rolls through the trees without warning, hiding paths and swallowing sound. Even during the day, the woods can feel dark and endless, with towering trees blocking the sky. Many visitors say they feel watched the moment they step off the main trails. The air feels heavy, and a strange silence often replaces the normal sounds of nature, creating an uneasy feeling that something unseen is nearby. These forests are well known for unexplained disappearances. Hikers, hunters, and even experienced outdoorsmen have vanished in areas where escape should have been easy. Some were last seen walking just ahead of their group, only to disappear within seconds. Search teams often report finding no tracks, no signs of struggle, and no clear direction of travel. In some cases, personal items are discovered neatly placed in open areas, adding to the mystery and fear surrounding the mountains. Ghost stories are common throughout the Smokies. Visitors report seeing shadow figures moving between trees, pale shapes standing along trails, and ghostly lights floating through the fog at night. Old cabins hidden deep in the forest are said to be haunted by former settlers. People claim to hear doors opening, footsteps on wooden floors, and voices whispering from inside buildings that are completely empty. Strange sounds also fill the forests after dark. Loud screams echo through the valleys, followed by deep knocking noises and heavy footsteps circling campsites. Some campers report something walking around their tents for hours, breathing loudly or scratching the ground. Others describe being woken by their names being called from the darkness, even when they are alone. The land itself seems to confuse and trap visitors. Trails appear to change, familiar landmarks vanish, and time feels distorted. Phones lose signal, compasses spin, and panic sets in quickly. Some hikers say they feel an invisible force guiding them deeper into the woods. As night falls, the Smoky Mountains become truly terrifying. Fog thickens, shadows stretch unnaturally, and the forest feels alive with unseen movement. The Great Smoky Mountains forests remain one of the most haunted woods in America, where legends, fear, and mystery continue to haunt those who enter. Number 5. Gifford Pinchot National Forest in Washington is a vast, dark wilderness where towering trees, deep valleys, and constant mist create an unsettling atmosphere. The forest stretches for miles, and many areas feel untouched by time. Visitors often say the silence here feels unnatural, broken only by distant sounds that cannot be explained. Even in daylight, the thick canopy blocks the sun, making the woods feel cold and watching. Many people report a sudden sense of fear the deeper they travel into the forest. The forest is strongly linked to tragic events and unexplained encounters. Stories of lost hikers are common, with people vanishing from well-marked trails without leaving any trace. Search teams have reported strange behavior from equipment, sudden fog rolling in, and the feeling of being followed. Some missing people are never found, while others are discovered miles away with no memory of how they got there. These stories have turned the forest into a place many locals avoid after dark. Campers and hunters frequently report seeing shadow figures moving silently between the trees. These figures appear tall and thin, often watching from a distance before fading into the mist. Others describe glowing eyes peering from the forest edge or hearing footsteps matching their own pace. There are also reports of ghostly voices calling people's names, luring them deeper into the woods where trails disappear. Strange lights are another common sight in Gifford Pinchot. Witnesses describe floating orbs drifting through the trees, changing color, and vanishing suddenly. Some hear deep humming sounds or low growls echoing through the forest at night. Tents have been shaken, objects moved, and campers awakened by heavy breathing just outside their shelters. The forest is also known for a feeling of confusion and panic. Compasses fail, phone signals vanish, and familiar paths seem to twist into endless loops. Time feels distorted, with minutes stretching into hours. Some hikers believe the forest itself resists human presence. When night falls, the fear becomes overwhelming. Fog thickens, shadows move on their own, and every sound feels close. Gifford Pinchot National Forest remains one of America's most haunted woods, a place where something unseen still roams, watching those who enter its depths. Number 6. Shawnee National Forest in Illinois is a vast and eerie woodland that stretches across rolling hills, deep ravines, and dense thickets. Even in daylight, the forest feels heavy and shadowed, with sunlight barely reaching the forest floor. Visitors often say the air feels thick and quiet, as if the woods are holding their breath. The twisting trails and hidden valleys create a sense of disorientation, making even experienced hikers feel uneasy. Many who enter report a strange sensation of being watched, as if unseen eyes follow every step. The forest is full of chilling stories of the unexplained. Hikers and campers have vanished from well-known trails, sometimes disappearing within moments, leaving no footprints or signs of struggle. Search teams often find strange symbols etched into trees or abandoned items neatly placed along paths, as if left intentionally. Some lost individuals return days later with no memory of where they had been, claiming that time seemed to shift or freeze while they were in the forest. Shawnee National Forest is also home to numerous ghost sightings. Shadowy figures are often reported moving silently between the trees, sometimes vanishing the moment someone approaches. Campers have heard whispers calling their names, footsteps circling their tents, and strange rustling in areas where no animals live. Many describe feeling sudden cold spots or invisible touches that send chills through their bodies. The forest is known for strange lights and mysterious sounds. People report seeing glowing orbs floating through the woods, sometimes hovering near abandoned structures or deep ravines. Others describe low growls, moaning, or eerie singing echoing through the trees at night. Some explorers claim to see human-like figures in old ruins that seem to disappear when looked at directly, adding to the feeling that the forest itself is alive. Shawnee National Forest also has a reputation for confusing visitors. Trails can seem to change, landmarks disappear, and compasses fail. Time can feel distorted, making hours feel like minutes and vice versa. Those who venture too far often feel an overwhelming urge to turn back, as if the forest is guiding them away from its darkest corners. At night, the forest becomes even more terrifying. Shadows stretch unnaturally, fog rolls in unexpectedly, and the silence is broken by unidentifiable noises. Shawnee National Forest remains one of the most haunted woods in the United States, a place where legends, fear, and unexplained activity continue to terrify all who enter. Number 7. Ocala National Forest in Florida is one of the most disturbing and haunted woodland areas in the United States. Covered in thick pine trees, deep swamps, and hidden sinkholes, the forest feels wild and unsettling even during the day. Many visitors say the air feels heavy and humid in an unnatural way, and the silence can suddenly become overwhelming. The dense landscape makes it easy to lose direction, and people often report feeling watched while walking alone among the trees. This forest has long been linked to unexplained disappearances. Campers and hikers have vanished from marked trails, sometimes leaving behind tents, shoes, or personal items with no signs of struggle. Search teams often report strange problems, including broken equipment, sudden storms, and thick fog rolling in without warning. Some people who return after being lost for days claim they heard voices guiding them deeper into the woods or felt an unseen presence following them closely. Ocala National Forest is also known for terrifying ghost sightings. Visitors report seeing shadow figures standing near trails, pale shapes drifting between trees, and human-like figures watching silently from a distance. Old abandoned cabins and forgotten campsites are said to be especially active. People claim to hear footsteps on wooden floors, doors slamming, and whispers coming from buildings that are clearly empty. Strange sounds are common after dark. Loud screams echo through the forest, followed by deep growls or heavy breathing nearby. Some campers say something walks around their tents at night, circling slowly and stopping just outside. Others report scratching noises, low knocking sounds, and the feeling that something is trying to get their attention from the darkness. The forest is also known for confusing and trapping visitors. Trails seem to change, landmarks disappear, and time feels distorted. Phones lose signal, compasses spin, and panic sets in quickly. Some believe the land itself reacts to human presence, guiding people away or pulling them deeper into danger. As night falls, Ocala National Forest becomes truly terrifying. Fog rises from the swampy ground, shadows move unnaturally, and the silence feels alive. The forest remains one of America's most haunted woods, where fear, mystery, and unseen forces continue to haunt anyone who dares to explore too deeply. Number 8. The Black Forest of Colorado is a dark and haunting woodland that lives up to its name. Thick pine trees stretch endlessly, blocking sunlight and casting deep shadows even during the day. The forest feels isolated and silent, and many visitors say the air itself feels heavy and cold. Paths twist through the trees, and it is easy to feel lost within minutes. People often report an uneasy feeling of being watched, as if something unseen is moving just beyond the tree line. For years, the Black Forest has been surrounded by terrifying stories of unexplained events. Locals speak of strange disappearances where hikers and hunters entered the woods and were never seen again. Search teams sometimes find personal belongings left neatly behind, but no footprints or signs of struggle. Some who return after being lost describe hearing whispers guiding them deeper into the forest or seeing shadowy figures that vanish when approached. Ghost sightings are common in the Black Forest. Many people report tall, dark figures standing silently among the trees, watching from a distance. Others describe seeing pale shapes drifting through the woods or human-like forms that disappear suddenly. At night, the forest is said to come alive with movement, even when no animals are present. Campers often hear footsteps circling their tents, slow breathing nearby, or soft voices calling their names from the darkness. Strange sounds echo through the forest after sunset. Loud knocks, deep growls, and sudden screams have been reported by those brave enough to stay overnight. Some witnesses claim the sounds seem to follow them, growing closer no matter which direction they walk. There are also stories of strange lights floating between the trees, glowing briefly before vanishing into the darkness. The forest is known to confuse and trap visitors. Trails appear to change, landmarks disappear, and compasses stop working. Time feels distorted, with hours passing unnoticed. Many people describe a sudden sense of panic or fear without any clear reason, forcing them to flee the area. When night falls, the Black Forest becomes truly terrifying. Shadows stretch unnaturally, fog creeps between the trees, and every sound feels close. The Black Forest remains one of the most haunted woods in America, a place where fear, mystery, and restless spirits continue to linger among the trees.